Hello and good morning. It's 3 minutes till market opens, and today I'm not going to be taking any trades. I'm on a 5-day losing streak. I have given back all of last month's profits and some, and so I'm just going to be taking the day off, or not completely. I'm still here. I'm showing up, but I will be taking uh, my trades on a piece of paper today. So instead of paper trading in a simulator, I'm just going to be literally paper trading with a piece of paper. Um, this should, I'm going to be doing that for the morning session, and then I'll go into some trade review after I would normally call, uh, after I would normally call it a day. Because this is turning into a big issue, is this drawdown that I'm having. I can show you what it looks like here. Let's see if I go bring over this. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, cool. So this is what my drawdown currently looks like. So this was my supposed turning point. March 21st was my supposed turning point, and now since then I had cumulatively made $1,100 in the past 3 months. And in a matter of 5 bad days, I have pretty much lost 90% of it. And so I cannot dig this hole any deeper. Um, it was a good stretch, but I'd like to see it continue. So I have to stop the bleeding and figure out what's going on. I've always had a negative profit loss ratio and high accuracy. That's what I strive for. The high accuracy gives me confidence into going into trades, and so that's what I tend to look for. I don't care if my loser is a little bit bigger than my winner, as long as I'm having more winners. That was my mindset, and it worked up until last week. Let's see here. Right there. $11 winners, $15 losers, but 64% accuracy over 600 trades. And that was what was working for me. And most of that was on $2 to $5 stocks. 900, almost $1,000 was out of the 1100 was on $2 to $5 stocks. That was my go-to zone. Day of the week, I just had a string of Wednesdays that were all red. That's why that's red. And then time of day, pre-market profitable, opening bell profitable, and then I stopped kind of trading after 15 minutes after open. Um, let's see. Yeah, so this is my last 4 months. June was my best month. And then July, it looked like it was going to be my best month in July. We were starting off, that was the first week, $287 in the first week. And it looked like I was on track to have like an $800 month. And now I'm just trying to break even, not even this month. So, let's see here. Instrument. There are a few instruments that I had almost 200 on. But this doesn't really tell you much. But yeah, my cumulative drawdown over that 3-month period Never passed $250. Every single time I got down over 200, I would kind of like reel myself back in and then start to try and slowly chip away at the loss. So I'd go down, I'd come up, and then I'd go down again, losing all my progress. I'd come back up, and then this was a great stretch. This was a 9-day green streak, I think. Or let me see. Go to calendar. But yeah, something I was doing really good these last couple months was minimizing my red days. I tried to keep to 4 red days a month. Um, March. Reason I have it set on the 21st is because that was when my turning point was. If I go to the beginning of March, I was kind of still trading at CMEG, still having quite a lot of red days. But after the 21st is when I started to really see progress. Um, so here I didn't have more than 2 red days in a row this entire time. I took a couple days off here for school. I try not to trade if I'm staying up past midnight. So if I stay up past midnight for an assignment, I don't trade the next day. Um, I hit a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day green streak, 1 red day, 2 green, 2 red. This was my transition to TradeZero right here. That's why I have 3 days off as my money was transferring. 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, or 4 days on, 1 red day. Just a lot of uh, green streaks and then 1 red day. Green streaks, 1 red day. So here I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 day green streak. That's that's that. This right here is that 10-day green streak. And then 1 red day, 3 greens, and then a red week. That was a red week right there. Just couldn't pull it together. And then followed by another green week. As we entered June, I was on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day green streak. As we entered July. And let's see. At this point, I was shooting for $50 to $70 a day. And then I got some bigger days right here. And then right there is where we hit our giant red streak. I lost $250 in 1 day, which was more than any previous drawdown over the last 3 months. So it was hard to come in the next day and just kind of like start chipping away at it. Especially since I had my big green day before that. Um, I don't know. This red day was all this trade right here. I got stopped out right before it went to my goal. I got stopped out 4 cents off of the low of the move, and then it shot all the way back up to. I don't think it halted, but it got pretty damn close, going up, and it would have been like a 60, $70 winner if it had hit goal. And that kind of it set off an emotional trading. I was already in this trade. As you can see, I started this trade at 9:32 and it lasted for 4 minutes, which means it ended at 9:36. I had already entered this next trade at 9:34. Something I've been doing a lot of recently is entering multiple trades at the same time, which I never used to do before, so I'm going to try and put a complete ban on doing that. If I see an opportunity, I have to exit the current one I'm in before I can go for another. And if it's not worth it to take that exit in order to get into this new opportunity, then you're not allowed to do that. Um, let's see. So I was still in the SRG trade before I um, entered the APRE trade. And that was kind of like an emotionally fueled day after the red day, and this put me down 7 600, 650 after these 2 days, which is already a huge drawdown compared to all my other drawdowns. Almost 3 times the amount, or 2 times the amount. And then so I come in over the weekend. I kind of wanted to just reset, go back to like maybe $30 a day. That didn't happen. I came in on Monday. I lost 70 on the first trade and made it back on the second trade after a halt. This was a halt play, lasted 5 minutes. And this put me up 60 to 80 bucks on the day. It was 60 bucks, $64, which I should have been satisfied with. My goal was $30 a day. I was already down past max loss, and I made it back. And I wasn't satisfied. I don't know. Um, I guess I still took those emotions from the previous Friday into over the weekend, through the weekend, back onto Monday. And I kept those emotions, so being up $60 wasn't an accomplishment because I was still down 650 from last week. So I kept on trading. I traded it all the way to down or up $30, which is where I ended the live stream. I said I was gonna I was gonna head off for the day. I already gave back half my profit on the day, so I should stop while I'm still up. And then I didn't. And then I ended up averaging down on a bad position. Trade lasted 21 minutes of just me averaging down. You can see it right here. It's so obvious. Got in for the break of this pet level right here. Instantly comes back down. This is multiple dollars per share. I got in at 21. I added at 20, 30 maybe. And then adding at 19. We're hitting VWAP here. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll bounce off VWAP. I'm adding. No, we're not bouncing. We break VWAP. Okay, why am I still adding here? We should be already out. Reason I'm still adding is because I'm already down over 100. So, what's the point in losing $20 more? Is what I'm thinking at that time. So here, I'm averaging down, and then we get another rip down, and that's where I take my exit. So yeah, this is where I ended stream right here, around $30, and then kept going down to ending the day down 97, I believe. So, yeah, 97. Yesterday, or it's not yesterday, it's Tuesday. Tuesday, took initial $25 loss, came back to minus $1 on the day, and then, I believe this was also, let's see, adding for the break of highs. GOVE was very high float stock, 300 million or 120 million shares of float. It's actually gapping today as well. If you look at it, let's see. Yeah, GOVE's great gapping today as well. So I got in for the break of highs. It ripped to 5, double topped at 5. I added for the break of 5, and then it flushes down. I'm hoping for a hold of this level at 480, 479. Breaks VWAP. I add again. This adding on break of VWAP is I'm actually starting to notice something, so it's good I'm doing this. Adding on the break of VWAP is terrible. If it's breaking VWAP on the downtrend, then you're most likely going to get continuation short. See this? It doesn't provide any pullback or any bounce until 30 minutes later, 15 minutes later, and 60 cents lower. So there's no point. Should have been cut the second it broke this level at 79. But I was also trading that with big size. I was in 300 shares, or yeah, 300 shares for the break of 5, and it down to 480. That's like 20 cents, 15 cents on 300 shares is $45. So I had a $45 loss on my hands. I was already down $2 on the day. Had a $45 loss on my hands. And then decided to add and stopped out and made a $94 loss. So and then took one more trade afterward just to, it was kind of like a, hey, I have money left to trade with kind of trade. It was just not even really anything going for me. And then yesterday, tried to limit myself to $6 a trade on risk. It was successful for the first 3 trades, but they were all red, so should have stopped. It's down 18 bucks. But then had one trade on the same size as the previous one, and I just didn't stop out when it went to my stop zone. Maybe I sized in too much for that kind of stop. My stop was 520 right here. It didn't break 520 yet. And then once it broke, it was already down to 510, 515, or 505. So, yeah, I got some slippage on it. That triggered me to size up because I was down now 18 plus 24, 42, 42 on the day, when I was supposed to be only down 24, maybe, max, after 4 trades. So I was down 42, and then I started swinging for home runs, and that didn't go well. So I ended the day down 94 yesterday. And today I'm not taking any trades. Instead I'm doing this. It's going to be way more helpful than taking 5 trades today will ever be. As you can see on my 90-day trading average, I'd have green streaks of 8 green days and 2 reds. The red days were kind of spread apart. Sometimes they were clumped together, but they would be small. And then the green days were clumped together more often than not. Here's my 10-day streak. 1 red day, 3 greens, 5 red, or 6 red, or 6 greens. And all of a sudden, just fell off the face of the earth right there. My accuracy was hovering around 63, 64% over that course of those months. You can kind of see it here, how they're all kind of like around 60. And then these last 5 days, 40%, 0%, and 20%. These last 3 days. So my accuracy is terrible right now. Don't know what to do about that. I have to go and see what's not working for me. If I go to price, $2 to $5 is still working for me. Let's see if I duplicate this tab and then cut out the losers. Let's compare. Actually, let's go ahead and just only have the losers right here. Okay. So I've been losing on all types of stocks from under 2 to 20, or to 10. Made some money here, but that's not really significant. That's 3 trades. I don't count that. So I'm just losing all around the board. This doesn't really tell me too much. Pre-market, I didn't take that many trades. During market open, that's where I lost the majority of my money. By duration, so averaging down, holding those trades longer, it's losing me money. Pretty sure it's the same if I go here. Right here we have averaging down, anything longer than 20 minutes is losing me money. My best trades are $2 to $5, or 2 to 5 minutes long. 5 to 10 minutes long is also pretty nice. Those are the 5 to 10 minute long ones, those are the halts that I get into usually, because the halt lasts 5 minutes, so your trade time's going to be longer by default. Let's see, over the past 5 days, 2 to 5 minutes has been losing me money. And I had a couple trades where I held them long and averaged down. So, I don't see anything really like super clear as to what's exactly is going on. But let's see here. In total, if I go back to before the losing streak, the thing that was making me the most money and most consistently was $2 to $5 stocks. So maybe I'll limit myself to just $2 to $5 stocks for the next week. See what happens there. Yeah, we'll try that. That was the most outstanding statistic in my green streak, was that $2 to $5 stocks was my bread and butter. We don't get many of them though. Trading from 9 a.m. to 9:30 or 9:45. Stop trading after 7. Although I was pretty good about that. You can see after 7, everything kind of falls off in terms of trades. Nothing really there. So yeah, we're gonna limit ourselves to $2 to $5 stocks. And later today, I'll look into my past recordings and I'll see which types of trades are going better for me. Whether that be VWAP breakouts, high day breakouts, ABCDs, dip trades, scalping, pullbacks. I used to trade EMA pullbacks pretty well. I know that. But so we're gonna go through and we're gonna tag up. I'm not sure if we'll have the time to tag up all 600 trades, but we can go ahead and tag up maybe the last month, June. June is a great month. We tag up June with the trades that we took in June. I'm sure we'll find something that was going good for us. As you can see, that was our best month. So that's what we'll do for the remainder of today and tomorrow. I'll just go through and tag up my old trades, see what patterns are working best for me in this market. And then okay, so that's interesting as well. I trade the best on um, instruments that end the day with over 25 million shares of volume. So high volume, $2 to $5. Let's put that, let's make a notepad of this. $2 to $5 stocks, 25 million shares of volume by end of day. End of day. Okay. Gap. This is relative volume. So over 5x relative volume. Over 10% gap. Right here you can see if the stock is up over 10%, that's where I make most of my money. Anything under 10% or negative, I don't really make it. This is all scratch work right here. This is also where most of my trades are though, so that's not something new. Um, I don't use ATR that much, so I wouldn't use ATR. Not even really sure what that means. Haven't really used that indicator before. Hmm. So it looks like here my strategy was independent of SPY because it didn't really matter where SPY was. I'd be making money either way. Yeah, okay. Um, I know here we were having almost 4 green days for every 1 red day. Almost 80% green days would be 4 green days for every 1 red day. And so we were trying to aim for that because that would essentially be 4 red days a month, 4 weeks in a month, and then uh, having 1 red day each week. That was the goal. You can see here the red days were always bigger than the green days. Red days were on average $80. Green days were 50. Um, green days accuracy 67%. So two green trades, 1 red trade, and then I would actually have a positive profit loss ratio on my green days. The red days were always terrible red days, terrible accuracy, terrible profit loss ratio, and basically just be days where I went pretty much straight down. Um, yeah, you can see the accuracy right here. Green days versus red days, so that's nothing new. Um, so in blue is the green days, and yellow is the red days. So it looks like on losing days, most of the losses would happen at market open. That's something interesting. If you look at just the losing days, most of that loss happens during market open. But that's also when most of my gains happen, so. And they cancel each other out with $400 to the green side. Um, okay. That's all for looking at stats right now. The rest of it has to be done by deep diving into my trades over the last couple months. So we took out of doing that little session was we need to focus on $2 to $5 stocks, moving up with high volume, high relative volume, and over 10% gap. This over 10% gap, I already knew about that. I really wouldn't trade any. My scanners are set to where I don't really trade anything over 10 that's less than 10%. Um, that's nothing new. I've always seen that my $2 to $5 stocks are doing better, but I've never really set it as like a kind of rule to follow. I've always tried to venture out into under $2 and over $5 just to try and make myself a more well-rounded trader. But if I that's what's doing the best, I might as well just focus on that for now while I'm trying to rebuild. High volume, 25 million shares by the end of day means that probably like half of that is in the first hour or 2 hours of the day. So if we're not seeing 10 million shares of volume by 7 a.m., so at least a few million shares by market open, then we shouldn't be trading it. Anything under a million shares of volume should not be traded. Over 5x relative volume. I have a relative volume percentage on my scanners as well, so I should be able to look at that. So for now, we'll take that and let's see here.